Russia has completely blocked YouTube. And from here there is a question why all of Russian creators still did not go completely silent. Why are we still here? Like why since a few years YouTube is slowed down or blocked as many other social medias in Russia, and still Russian creators upload and get popular. And the most important, how do we still earn money? Why do we see bloody ads before our videos? And why did Russia not become North Korea yet? So today I thought it will be interesting to explain you how are Russian YouTubers still surviving and how are we not even a shadow ban, because frankly that also exists. You're new to this channel and you don't know, I used to live in Belarus and UK, and when I moved to Russia in 2025 I had to face really a lot of problems connected to sanctions. So officially, Russian government didn't really block YouTube, it slowed it down. But actually, you cannot open it. Like when you try to open it, you will just see a white window with loading, and then it will tell you like there is some problem with internet connection, or you cannot access this website, and basically YouTube just doesn't work. But a lot of Russian people still watch a lot of YouTube using VPNs. VPNs have got real popular in Russia lately because of course you can access several websites like Instagram for example, or YouTube only with them. But at the same time they are unstable because sometimes governments find out and block VPNs, especially when they get really big and really popular, or you try to upload some very big files using these VPNs, and that's how for government it is easier to find out about this VPN. But what I can say is there are the ones which you don't have to pay for, and there are the ones which are paid. So free ones are generally used for phones, and for example I have it on my iPhone and it works really well. Like I don't face a lot of problems with that, I just have to watch a bunch of ads before turning it on, but that's okay, that's bearable, and in general it works very much alright to me. And unfortunately for my laptop I had to find a good paid VPN and really pay for it, because that was like the only option, and I chose stability in uploading my videos. At the same time, you cannot open certain apps with VPNs. These are generally government websites or like Yandex Maps. They're like Google Maps, but Russian version of it. And things like that basically you just cannot open when you're using a VPN. Then there are also Wi-Fi services which include YouTube, Telegram, and Instagram for you, but it's also quite an unstable thing, so it's always better to have a VPN for security. And in general, internet works well enough. Like sometimes there are days when it works so-so, but in general I could always call, I could always message, and most of the times I could access my VPNs and I could access internet with no extra problems. But sometimes when it works real slow, especially when you're trying to upload a video on YouTube and it is a big file, you just have to wait and pray. And another thing I noticed about using and not using a VPN is Pinterest. I think it is clear from my appearance that I'm a big Pinterest user, but anyway, what I noticed, if I use a VPN on Pinterest, I see too many ads and content that really doesn't suit me, and there is a lot of AI slop and all this garbage, and this in general not usable at all. And if I use just my Wi-Fi or my mobile internet, Pinterest turns into Pinterest. Like it really turns very controllable and gives you recommendations connected only to your most recent searches, and it is again very pleasant to use like in old good times. I think Pinterest has just got an update which didn't come to Russia. Write me please down below if you use Pinterest on the West and how does it work for you. And what is more about banned organizations in Russia is Meta. So right now Meta is called terrorist organization for some reason, and Instagram is also a terrorist organization. And there is even this little joke kind of saying among Russians to create little names with censorship for Instagram, or to call it a terrorist organization, because It's a bit funny, you know. But in general, everyone uses it. Like almost each and every girl I know in Russia has her Instagram and is active enough on it. Then the most favorite part is money. YouTube has turned off monetization for Russia. And how do we get money now? So to explain this to you normally, we can divide Russian YouTubers into three categories. First one are local Russians who are from Russia and have Russian accounts. So these guys have some complications because if your viewers are from Russia, you will not get money for them. But basically all your views from Russia will be counted and excluded from the amount of money you earn. That is why it is so convenient to focus on English-speaking audience. Now about how do we actually earn the money and how do we overcome this blocked monetization. So if you don't know, YouTube gives you money basically for AdSense. These are literally the ads you see during and before the video. So a way to do it is to create an account in a foreign country. So your money will not really be connected to Russia. It is like if I live in Russia, record from Russia, upload from Russia, but I have a bank account in UK and I use it for my monetization, YouTube will be okay with it. At the same time, you will have some troubles transmitting your money from foreign bank account to Russia because from a lot of Western countries it is also not possible to send any money to Russia. Then there can be problems in currency transmissions, like you can lose some little percentage, but to me the idea of earning in dollars or even better in Great Britain pounds in Russia sounds really beautiful. Then there are such companies as MCN, which basically get money for you, but then they transmit it to you with some percentage. And it gets really fucky because YouTube gets its percentage, then MCN gets its percentage, and then when you transmit money into your currency, also some percentage is being lost. So that's how you lose around 20-25% of your money. Next category of Russian YouTubers, which I guess is the luckiest one, is foreigners who came to Russia and record their videos about life in Russia. So I guess Scottish guy in Moscow is an example, and then there also is Bold and Bankrupt. And these guys basically already have their foreign accounts and they have their ties with foreign countries. So for them it is very convenient to monetize because they literally have a passport of a different country. And they can basically follow all the process with attaching their monetization to their foreign bank account just with much less inconveniences. And then there is, I guess, the painful category is Russians who make videos for Russians. Frankly, for me it is very hard to understand how do they survive because I don't really know such people. Like I've watched only a few long ago on YouTube. And I can imagine some ways, but I don't know how do they turn on monetization. I think these guys still use foreign bank accounts, but I don't know what part of their audience counts because, as I already said, you will not get money if your viewers are from Russia. I think if your viewers are using VPNs, YouTube will not really understand they are from Russia. But I don't know how does it work exactly. But I think these people really lose a big percentage of their money because they cannot get money for all the audience maybe, and also they might lose some percentage of their audience because some people really stopped using YouTube or started to use it much less after it got blocked in Russia. But what I noticed they do is sponsorships. Basically, a lot of Russian companies are very much okay with cooperating with YouTubers to get advertisement. And I think that goes really well for YouTubers whose main audience is Russians because you get money directly for the product you're advertising. In this situation, of course, it becomes more convenient and safe than YouTube AdSense. Then, of course, for all these three categories, donations. And I'm not sure about how that works, but what I know, Patreon still didn't leave Russia, like that's the only donation company that stayed. And mostly YouTubers are using this. And then of course there are other ways to get donations in Russia, but for that, as I understand, you again need a foreign bank account. So this is how we basically make our living. Now the topic which worried me the most lately is shadowban. Because yes, YouTube really can shadowban your channel. That really happens and it is a big problem. And what I thought, if Western social media is so much against Russia, and in general they are trying to turn people against Russia really much, YouTube, as a very big media company, must be also very much against Russia and must be secretly shadow banning our channels. So I really thought and worried that if I record from Russia and say good things about Russia, I will get shadow banned. And yeah, a little bit forgot to explain. Shadow ban is basically when YouTube secretly bans your channel. It is like it stops recommending your videos to any new audience and you almost don't get growth. YouTube doesn't really do it officially, like you don't get direct notifications about it or you cannot really get a clear sign of it. But sometimes if YouTube starts having some problem with you, like if you're saying maybe something it doesn't like, it can make sure that your channel doesn't get growth at all. And in general, YouTube algorithm is a very strange creature, like it can give you growth or take it away from you in any moment possible, and it will be absolutely random. So a few weeks ago I have got some minor fall in growth of my channel. Like it wasn't really something big, but according to YouTube analytics, which can also be really confusing sometimes, my channel has started to get a bit less subscribers and a bit less views than usual. And that really started to worry me because that never happened to my channel before. Like, that's really funny because generally from people who advise you on YouTube, you will hear that most likely in first months or maybe even years, you will not get normal growth. Like popularity on YouTube can take really a lot of time to come again because YouTube algorithm is a weird kind of creature and it controls a lot of things and does a lot of things really randomly. But I think I was lucky to have a very funny story in which I started to get so much more subscribers and views, like almost from first week. I don't know how did it happen or what did I do for it, but since first my few uploads, my channel really started to go up. It really normally wouldn't happen to you on YouTube because generally in your first few uploads, or even not a few, like even if you upload for whole months, all what you would get is like 10 views on each of your videos, 10 subscribers, and tomorrow one will unsubscribe. And that is it, it's complete silence. And I was really prepared for it when I was starting, like when I just started to upload, I was really doing it with set of mind that I will not get anything more than 5 subscribers for a few months. And after I understood that I statistically get more than that daily, a little minor fall has scared me so much. So yeah, for like a week I really thought I'm shadow banned and I was really scared, but then thankfully I did a research and understood how to track shadow ban and how to understand it, and it appears that I'm just not, and it is just YouTube algorithm and they need to change a bit the quality of videos. So the point I am making here, if you're a small creator creating content from Russia, YouTube will not shadow ban you and YouTube will not try to slow you down on purpose. You can get really incredible numbers if you just create good enough content. So it doesn't really matter what is your geography, what matters is what is your audience, and that you treat YouTube like your $1 million business from day one. And another little YouTube creator advice is what really matters for YouTube algorithm much more than geography is how you keep contact with your audience and how does your audience like you. It's about how your audience interacts with you, how you interact with your audience, what do they click on, how do they share and everything. And I was lucky to have really supportive kind of audience. I have collected a big enough group of people who literally comment under every video, and if they don't do it on day one, they apologize for it. And some people write really like very big comments with a lot of their interesting thoughts and really spend hours and hours daily to read and reply to all of it. And then by the way, I recognize you all by the style of your writing, because even if you don't notice it, you all have a certain style in which you comment. So it really is so nuts for me to see and understand that a lot of people really are dedicated and engaged in my content. Like, I seriously didn't expect that someone will be that interested in watching my videos and subscribe even, and recognize me in all these crowds of thumbnails on your homepage, and I will really be able to stop that scrolling. So I really am extremely happy to have all of you enjoying my videos, because that's like literally part of my job, to make people happy. That's how, by the way, I think any business on this planet should work. Your main mission should be making people happy and bringing some joy and growth to this world. So I am really happy that I am succeeding in it, and that a lot of you guys really love what I'm doing here. You all are being extremely supportive and extremely cute, and truly adore all of my subscribers. So I think I don't have to say, you all already know what is the best way to support my channel, because it is just subscribing, liking my videos, watching them till the end. Because in general, in the end, I exactly say things like that right now. And of course, it is always very pleasant for me to see what are you writing in comments, what are your thoughts, what are your stories, even if these are not the most pleasant ones, or even if they are not very related to the topic. I always try to find some time to read and reply to all of them, even if it takes me till late nights. I think you can hope here for a proper reply to you. And for now, I can see you all in my next video. By the way, they come out twice a week, so that means that I will see you very soon from Russia.